Hello everyone, welcome to Madrid Pulse. You got source of latest news, events, and everything happens in heart of Spain. Álvaro Carreras is on the verge of completing his highly anticipated return to Real Madrid, with both Benfica and Los Blancos in the final stages of sealing the deal. After a period of tense and complex negotiations, it now appears the long-running transfer saga is nearing its conclusion. Carreras is expected to join Real Madrid imminently, possibly within the next few days, as both clubs finalize the last bureaucratic and logistical details. For the Spanish fullback, this is more than a mere transfer. It's a return to familiar territory, a homecoming that signals a new chapter at one of the biggest clubs in world football. But before continue, make sure you have already subscribed for getting more Real Madrid updates. Let's dive in. This deal has not been easy to navigate. Benfica, understandably reluctant to let go of one of their most promising defenders, held firm throughout the process. Real Madrid had initially hoped to negotiate a lower fee, aiming to secure Carreras' services for around $40 million. However, Benfica remained resolute in their stance, refusing to budge on the financial front. As a result, Real Madrid eventually agreed to pay the full $50 million release clause. For the Portuguese club, that figure represents a significant financial victory and validation of their steadfast approach to the talks. Despite the impasse over financial terms, Real Madrid found a way to push the deal forward by compromising on another front: the timing of Carreras' departure. Benfica had initially hoped to keep the player for the Club World Cup, wanting to make the most of his abilities on a global stage. However, Real Madrid were equally determined to include Carreras in their own Club World Cup plans. This became a key issue in the negotiations, and it appears Los Blancos have now succeeded in getting their way. Benfica, though reluctant, has conceded on this point, allowing Carreras to join Real Madrid in time for the tournament. For Carreras, this move is deeply personal. Having come through the Real Madrid academy, he has always maintained a strong emotional connection to the club. His desire to return to the Santiago Bernabéu has been clear from the beginning. Throughout the negotiations, he has made it known to both clubs that his preference is to sign for Real Madrid. While waiting for the final agreement, he has maintained a professional attitude, returning to training with Benfica and continuing to work in Lisbon as the deal neared completion. Real Madrid views Carreras as a critical piece in their defensive overhaul. The club's management, alongside manager Xabi Alonso, identified the left-back position as one that needed urgent reinforcement. Ferland Mendy and Fran Garcia have both failed to fully convince, and Carreras was quickly elevated to the top of the shortlist once the decision was made to strengthen that area of the squad. With personal terms having been agreed weeks ago, the final hurdle was reaching a consensus with Benfica, a challenge that has now been overcome. His arrival will mark Real Madrid's third major signing ahead of the Club World Cup, following the acquisitions of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Dean Huijsen. The strategy behind these moves is clear: to bolster the squad with both proven quality and youthful potential in time for one of the most prestigious tournaments on the calendar. Carreras, still only in his early 20s, fits that mold perfectly. Experienced beyond his years, technically gifted, and deeply motivated to succeed at the highest level. Benfica will announce the sale as soon as all documents are signed and processed. They plan to make the details of the deal public, including the full financial package and any performance-based variables that might be included. From their perspective, while the loss of Carreras is a sporting blow, they will walk away with a significant financial return and the pride of having developed a player who is now returning to one of Europe's elite clubs. For Real Madrid, this move is part of a broader reshaping of their defensive line. With Carreras joining the squad, attention is expected to shift towards outgoing transfers. Either Ferland Mendy or Fran Garcia is likely to leave in the summer window. Mendy, due to his higher salary, could be a more financially motivated exit, whereas Garcia has already attracted attention from clubs in the Premier League and Serie A. The club will weigh its options carefully, but Carreras' arrival, is expected to bring clarity and competition to the left-back role. As a result of this signing, Real Madrid are also expected to withdraw from the race to sign Alejandro Grimaldo. The Spanish international had been considered a viable alternative to Carreras due to his lower transfer cost and consistent performances in the Bundesliga. However, with the Carreras deal now essentially complete, the club no longer sees the need to pursue Grimaldo. This development opens the door for Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, who are both interested in Grimaldo and now have a clearer path to secure his signature. Carreras is expected to travel to Madrid shortly for his medical and official presentation. Once he signs on the dotted line, he will immediately join the team in preparation for the Club World Cup, where he is likely to be integrated into the first-team squad by Xabi Alonso. His versatility, energy, and familiarity with the club's style of play make him an ideal addition at a critical juncture in the season. This transfer represents more than a simple signing. For Real Madrid, it reinforces their commitment to building a team capable of sustained success, both domestically and internationally. For Carreras, it's a dream come true, a return to where it all began, with the chance to write a new chapter in the famous white shirt. And for Benfica, it is a moment of both loss and pride, having developed a player who is now set to compete on the grandest stages of world football once again. After a fine season for Eintracht Frankfurt, in which the Eagles have qualified for the Champions League, it is no surprise that 20-year-old midfielder Hugo Larsson has caught the eye. The Swedish starlet has been linked to a number of clubs, but none bigger than Real Madrid. Back in December, it was first suggested that Los Blancos had their eye on Larsson, but in May, those reports were corroborated by several stories stating that scouts had been dispatched to the Bundesliga in recent months to watch Larsson. Real Madrid are looking for a midfielder this summer, and Larsson certainly fits the profile of their recruits, given his age. Yet the Swedish international himself has played down the idea that he could head to Real Madrid. Speaking to the media at the Sweden camp, MD quoting his responses on the topic. "Of course I've heard a lot about this. I feel like these rumors of joining a big club have followed me since I was 16 or 17 and started to stand out. It's a bit similar now, although it's about bigger clubs and slightly bigger things. I'm approaching it a bit the same way I did before. I've read things, and speculation will continue, but I'm a person who never stresses about anything. Now we have the Champions League next season with Frankfurt. It will be a lot of fun," he noted. Asked specifically about his thoughts on signing for Real Madrid, he gave a response punctuated by his own chuckles. "In one of the matches, we lost 5-0. I was substituted at halftime, so I don't think Alonso likes me." Where are Real Madrid in their pursuit of a midfielder? It seems that Real Madrid are not yet clear on whether they want to sign a midfielder. It has been reported both that Los Blancos will wait until after the Club World Cup to make a call, and that they do not intend to spend big on the position this summer. Stuttgart star Angelo Stiller has been the most closely linked with Real Madrid for the time being,